Howdy folks, so we're in the last field that we've got to drill. We've got muck to move first, which we're just loading up at the minute, and then we are going to plough it because it was the field the other side, just over there. Richard drilled that yesterday and it was drill was dragging it a bit, so we're just going to flop this over with the old plough. So yeah, so we don't, it'll drill nicer like. So yeah, we'll get this muck spread and then get ploughing. So it's a Fraser Muck Master orbital spreader, or rotary spreader, orbital spreader, aren't they? Yeah, I wonder how many dairy farms have got one of these tucked away at the back of the shed. Because obviously we have Henry HS Ag, who I used to work for. They come and spread the the main heaps, which they have done, and then but this is just what we've produced since then. And we thought, well, we'll take the opportunity to get rid of it, like, before we plough. So off she goes. Still do a good job, like. I mean, look at that. They're spreading it quite nicely. Obviously, you can only get 2 scoopfuls in it, like, but it's doing the job. It does, does a nice job. I have been just before he got here, father-in-law got here, I've just been stirring the muck heap up so that it's because we had one strawy load in here. The rest of this is muck from the separator, so it's like some really nice sort of wet muck. But you can see I've stirred some. We had one of the yards out, one of the yards we run over the summer, straw yards. We had that out 3 or 4 weeks ago, and of course that was strawy, like, because it don't get a lot of muck in this time of year. So I've just stirred that in so it spread, the beaters can cope with it a bit better, like. But yeah, how many of you, I got one of them old, not necessarily a Fraser lot, but they're all very similar, aren't they? And some companies still make them little orbital spreaders, like, so just means we can get rid of this, like. It will take a little, probably take a 3/4 of an hour to get rid of this lot, but it'll be done, then I can plough the lot in. So we're all hooked on the plough. It's about 8 acres, something like that. Not the biggest bit, and it's but it is sort of, it's long and thin, so it's fairly easy to plough. Shut that window. It's like real sandy soil though, so it hasn't got a lot of body, so it will shine the boards up because they're really rusty, but it might take a little bit to, I don't know. But sometimes sandy soil it hasn't got enough body to, it doesn't take much pulling through, so there's not much resistance. So it might not flop over nicely to start off with until we get a bit shone up, like. But yeah, we'll see how we get on. Right. See how we get on here now. Then we can set got the hydraulic top link on, see if I can set that somewhere. I think that's about roughly where it was last time. Depth control is there. We want 4-wheel drive. We want a few revs. We'll see how we go. Oh, That's not bad for the first pass. I'm not going to bother about looking, seeing how level we are and everything until we get, back in the furrow. So, but that's chucking over lovely. I'm quite surprised at that. I say it's taking zero pulling. But that'll just, it's burying the trash. That means the, the drill, because obviously it's a tine drill, they can drag trash lot, which, like I said earlier, is what it's done in that next field. So it's the decision to flop this over. It's a clean, it's a clean seedbed then, isn't it? Like, right, we've got a power pole here to get round. So just back her off. Just while we get round it, we don't want to hit it. Just like that. That's how much pulling it's taking. We're in 1,000 RPM. And it was about 5k. So not a lot of pulling. That will do. Right, flip her over using my new Russell Fastrac's spool valves. Beautiful. Do like the old Dowsel plow, do like them. That drop speed is a bit quick. Slow that down a bit, look. I think we can probably slide the front furrow right over. Yeah, see, it has stuck a bit to them boards, which it's gonna, it's that type of soil. That's a better drop speed. Right, we'll just see what things look like a minute. Yeah, I don't think we're far off the mark there, are we? That front skimmer's just catching, I think, down there. But yeah, that's always the trouble with this sort of soil. When you got, see, that one stuck pretty quickly. That one, not so bad. Yeah, so it's going to stick a bit light, but it'll be what it'll be. So, but it'll get it turned over, won't it? Hopefully we don't, that don't become an issue. Blocking up the, well, it's that rear disc. trashy stuff in there, look. And that gets all bound up, and then you end up lifting the thing like. But I don't think we're far off the mark there, look. I don't. We'll do a bit more and crack on. Right, that's straightened up past that power pole. Yeah, I wonder if I've got to whip them discs off. Blooming thing, oh, it is clearing. Yeah, I could just have to keep an eye on it, lot. Good bit of forward speed as well, hopefully should help stop the soil sticking to the boards quite as much, and it'll do a leveler job. Do love a bit of ploughing though. It is got to be, I've probably said it before, it is got to be one of the most favourite jobs on the farm. Like, love a bit of ploughing. Who doesn't like ploughing? Actually, yeah. But if you don't like ploughing, put in the comments that you don't like ploughing and why you don't like ploughing. It is just nice. These are back. Beautiful. I think we might just, squeaky brakes. We'll stick her into medium. We should be able to, hopefully, we'll have to change gear then for the headlands lot. Right, so I'm just gonna, although I can pull through here, obviously there's no, we haven't got a lot in the way. There's no hedge or fence to prevent you pulling through, but I'll just plough them corners out a little bit while we're there. Drop her in the furrow. Just speed that up a little bit, drop. And we are off. Lovely jubbly. Well, it's certainly not the prettiest ploughing I've done. And we are getting the odd bit of trash that's sitting on top. But that's purely because we're pushing the furrows over, we're not rolling them. As you can see, we've got two clean roll boards on the top here, like, but yeah, none of the skimmers are shone up. They're all holding dirt. I mean, it just is what it is, like. But it will drill nicely, so. Yeah, so it's not even worth mucking about with really, and sort of fiddling and that and knocking the dirt off them, because well, about an hour, probably an hour and a half, I'll be done. So it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to, accept that it's not the best job in the world. Sometimes you fail to understand the last pass, well, you see that line of trash along there, that was the last pass the way we were going. I've not changed any of the settings, depth settings, anything like that. And I think, I'm fairly sure it was the rear furrow that wasn't buried. You can see it, a whole line of it. And indeed goes, you know, it's still, you can see it up towards the end there, like. No particular reason why it's not burying that one. This pass, absolutely perfect. And like I say, I haven't changed anything. I mean, we're going obviously, like I say, the same way, so sometimes ploughing is just magic, isn't it? Just pure magic. I still think these old 3000 series cabs, you know, they stand up to the test of time. The only thing with them really is you are limited depth wise, so forward to back they're quite a, you know, short cab in that respect, but they are full width, and that makes a difference. So there's plenty of room to, you know, store a bag down there. Or like your drone and all that sort of stuff. Toolbox, if you really wanted to have it, you could have it in there. There's, you know, there's a vast floor space, although you do struggle. Like I can't stretch my legs out. It's the only, I can't do that, which is the only downside really. But other than that, they're a nice old cab, and like I say, they've stood the test of time, I think. They're perfectly functional. So we're just coming to the end. See, everything's pretty much to hand, like, you know. Up she goes. Put her in reverse. Flip the plough over. Using the patented Russell Fastrac's hydraulic joysticks. Very nice to use, if you know what I mean. Probably even nicer to use than an actual spool valve. Especially these ones, because they're momentary. So you just flick it back, let go, and it stops. So we've got the Fastrac's got the good old Bosch Heatstronic, you know, rear linkage system. So that there, as you've just seen, does your up and down. Hand throttle just here. You got power shift buttons on the gear stick. So we'll go up one. They are replicated back here. You probably can't see that. Not the best place to put them. They're not, you know, don't tend to use them, but they are there and they do work. So yeah, so the Heatstronic, so you've got obviously in the down position, you've got a neutral position where it won't do anything, then you've got up, but you've also got another stage further down. So if I just hold it, it basically puts the arms into like free float and they'll go all the way down. So if you get into a hard bit and it's riding out a bit, you can just go like that. See, tractor's going to stop. Just because I buried the plough there, like. But that's a handy little feature. You can just dink that down if you're at a bit that's, you know, a headland or whatever, and it's not going in. Hold that down, and it will just sort of like, it will go in as deep as it wants to. That is your depth control. So that sets so further round at like 7 o'clock is full depth. All the other way around at 5 o'clock is like the highest depth. So that just, you twiddle that and that adjusts your depth. That one there is your maximum lift height. So because we've got the plough on, that's fully up. So that will lift up as high as the rams will go. If you've got a power harrow on, for example, you don't want to lift it, you only tend to lift them up just enough so that they clear. Otherwise you get too much of an angle with the PTO. You can set that lower down, so it only just lifts up, clear of the ground so you can turn. That one there is your drop rate, so how quickly the implement drops. So I've got it at the minute set with the plough at about halfway. If I had it all the way, the plough would just literally, drop full speed, clatter into the ground. Not very good. So a lot basically it depends how much weight you've got on the back. Oh, you're brave, mate. No, you nutcase. Lorry just, oh man, there's going to be an accident there. Jesus. Lorry just turning in here. They shouldn't be coming in there, lot. Really shouldn't be coming in there. Because that's the A1. So, bloody bit of a nutcase. Easy enough to have an accident on a Friday afternoon. We're good. Off we go. I am, as you can see, using the CHC nav. I know it's cheating, but it does just keep a nice straight line without me having to concentrate, especially when I'm doing a video. So where were we? And that one is basically your mixer between draft control and position control. Again, I have it about halfway. So that is basically acting on the rear linkages, is sensing the draft load on, and you can see the little lights here. You should be able to see that on camera. As it sort of gets to easy bits and harder bits, it puts it up and down just to maintain a decent forward speed light. So you put it into position, which the symbol's normally a fertiliser spreader. It turns that off, so it goes down to depth and just sort of stays there. Put it all the way into plough, and it reacts really quickly, but you don't really need it set to that, so I just have it set about halfway, and that's normally about right. The thing I do like about the old Fastracs, these old ones, and on the new ones as well, I'm not sure about the icons, could still be on the icons, but you've got a manual up-down button for the rear linkage. So if you want to drop your pickup hitch down, you just use that just overrides, well, as long as that's in that position, in the stop position, that works. So, which it normally is, once you're not doing field work, you leave that in the stop position, and then you can go up, down with the buttons on the back and that, and it just a steady pace sort of thing, like. That is the diff lock cutout, so you click that on, and if we had the diff lock in, that would cut out when we're turning and all that sort of stuff. That, I've explained that before, is the cutout for the hydraulics on the back, so it's like a low pressure system. So you have to have that activated like that for them to work. It's basically a safety cutout, so if you don't want the chance of them activating, you click that like that, and they won't, nothing will happen. But we do need it because we're going to turn the plough over. That little button there is the area meter, so it counts up if you want the tractor to work out the area you're doing. That is what that does. I never bother, to be honest, especially when you've got GPS. That does it for you. The other good thing about these old Eaton boxed gearbox tractors is that you do have a lot of gears available. So it's got 54 forward gears, it has. So 6-speed manual with 3 ranges, low, medium, high, and it has got 3 power shifts per gear. So you've got 3 range, you've got 6 manual speeds in 3 ranges, and you've got 3 power shifts for every gear you're in. So we're in 3rd gear at the minute, medium. So we've got 3 power shifts in that. Oh, that's a bit of a jump there to the high range, wouldn't it? Like, that's better. Then into low. So yeah, so you say 6 gears times 3, 18. Times that by the ranges gives you 54. And I can't remember if you don't get high range in reverse. I think you get low and medium, but you might just get low. It could just be low. I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's an 18, you know, 54 times 18, like. But yeah, you do get loads of overlap for gears. So you know, which is quite handy. But you have got the power shifts that do gives you the flexibility if you get the tough spots or light spots when you want to go a bit quicker. Like, you know, you've got that versatility. So that button there is your PTOs. So in the position it's in at the minute, it's PTO brake. Turn it into that position, the brake comes off, so it will just sort of start rotating with the drag of the gearbox. Then that one there is actually going. It's actually going round. So there is no there's no you know, like the modern ones, the safety ones where you can like hit it and it disengages it. This is before that time. They come on with the P-tronic edition, so like 2010 onwards. But these do give you the ability to drop that in. These do give you the ability to tweak a baler on or something like that. So because you've got the the ability to turn it on the light, that you can get something just moving ever so slightly, which is with the yellow the yellow ones, if you know what I mean, not quite so easy, lot. That's about it really. That is your 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive diff lock selector. So at the minute we're in 4-wheel drive. That puts it into diff lock. Put it into the down position, that's 2-wheel drive. So that's about it really. There's not a lot else on these, but they are they're a lovely comforting place to sit. You know, you shut the door. They're not the quietest, even in their day they weren't exactly the quietest machines in the world, but they're not bad, like, you know. You still hear the radio quite happily, lot. Decent air conditioning in them. Yeah, I like the old girls. So we're just like I don't know, 2 degrees straight off of this ditch that we've ploughed over to, which is annoying. So we'll have to go back up and yeah, just plough that top corner out a little bit. We're going to start coming out of the furrow now where we are. Rear furrow's in about the right spot, so now I need to just fettle the depth control a bit, drop the ploughing a little bit, because I'm now on me ploughing rather than in the furrow, because we're taking probably 2 furrows now, 3 to 2 furrows. Got to bring the front out of it now. Never easy. I'm never very good at this. So we've got a bit of a dip there, and we're bringing a little bit of trash out, look. I really do find it tricky to do very acute angles like that. It's not easy at all. So we're going to run on it, obviously. It doesn't matter because we'll nip over this with the joker just to level it down and consolidate it a bit because it is now fluffy. Then we'll drill it, so it doesn't matter too much. Like I say, it's not the prettiest ploughing I've ever done, but sometimes you have to get a bit dirty, don't you? And like I say, 2 or 3 days time, it'll be drilled and rolled anyway, so it really won't matter. Benefits of hydraulic top links. Just slow that down a little bit, so you see hydraulic top link is holding the rear of the plough out of the ground. Doesn't help that it's a bank as well, so I'm just going to drop her in a little bit as we come up here. Okay, it's not ideal, is it, look? That is not too bad, actually. I'm happy with that. Just ease her out a little bit. Yeah, that's not too bad. I am happy with that. Right, 2 headlands to do. Just drop that top link back down to where it ought to be, about there. Just using the auto steer just to help me get a nice parallel mark, because I'm going to plough it in. So it means I have to start on the inside and then come out to the edge. And again, I'm not very good at gauging being parallel to, you know, the outside of the field. So I've got auto steer. I shall make use of it. So you just drive this manually. It's recording exactly what I do, then it'll replicate that as we go in. Alright, so that's in. We'll just mark that down just so we know then. Top headland. Alright, so you can see what we've got now up there and then round to the corner a bit. And it's replicated that for me there very nicely. So we'll engage that line. It will now get onto that nearest line for me. We can now hold on, we need to flip the plough over before we do anything. Of course we're on plough ground, so we can't flip it over. Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. bring that top link in a little bit, gives us more clearance. We may not actually be in the right spot with that top link. No, so we've got some little marks down there. So about there. It's all good fun. Right, forwards. Yeah, we'll go for it. See, it's turning it for me. I anticipated it, didn't it? Now we can just back her up a little bit. I'll show you actually what we're doing. That'll do, drop her in there. Lift her up because we're out of the ins and outs now. See now them, that first headland pass is now accurate, and you'll notice at the end, basically either end of the field, I run the plough out as far as it'll go. So we get in the corners. So now just suck that back in a bit. So there. Helps if you put the plough in the ground, George. Yeah, so now we can just plough it out manually, but because we've put them that first headland pass in accurately, we should end up level with the outer headland. That is the hope anyway. Like I say, I am absolutely terrible at gauging it, so I've got the technology, I will use it. Through there, spin around. Obviously Fastrac's very good on the ins and outs because you're going in and out your open furrows that you make when we went up and down, but the old suspension, front and rear, self-leveling, well, cool springs on the front of these, self-leveling on the rears, smooths it out lovely. It's only on the newer, like, well, the 4000 series is when you got front as well as rear self-leveling. So I don't think I'll win any ploughing matches with this ploughing. But it's turned brown anyway, that's the main thing. I do seem to remember, I think it was Caverland, brought out a section control plough. So each furrow had a ram on it, so it could be lifted in and out of work. And as you would come into and out of work, it would put the furrows in and out, depending on obviously if you're going in or out, like. So you ended up with perfectly square headlands, no sort of triangulated ins and outs. Never see them. I remember them. Yeah, they made one, like, but whether anyone bought one or not, I mean, obviously it's it adds quite a bit of complexity to the plough, like. Up there. Another 3 passes, 4 passes, something like that. Well, I did go out. Lift out far enough that I do like to plough the headland tram line, with the way the way you go around it, so to speak. So it's a little bit smoother when you're ploughing it the same direction as the headland tram line. So it's a lot smoother rather than ploughing 90 degree against it. So it gives you a bit of a bigger headland, like, but it's a bit smoother when you're doing spraying and all that sort of stuff, like, because you're not you're not going across your ploughing. Yes, obviously we're going to level it and everything, like, but a little bit reluctant to go in this headland, so I am just helping it go in by, like I was saying earlier, pressing the down button on the 3-volt linkage, so it drops, almost forces the plough in. Back her in, drop her down, make sure she bites in. There we go, we're off. Right, so we're getting to the tricky bit now. final bit. There looks like there's a couple of passes there. In she goes. Pull this as far as we can. There we go. I'm just going to pull this round the corner a little bit. Like so, that's going in nice. Oh. So it looks like we've got, I think we can get away with taking one pass back down that bit. Is this one or two here? I think it is two in this last little bit here. Going out as far as we can, trying to ram my box into the pavement. It does really rise there, look. I don't want to ram my box. Drop that in as early as we can. Let her drop in deep, like so. Put along here as far as we can without hitting the dinosaurs. We've got what, Triceratops and a Stegosaurus, I think they are. You've probably seen them on the video already, like, but you'll have one's definitely a Triceratops. I'm sure its buddy behind is a Stegosaurus. You'll see him in a sec. Let me back up and see if we can spin that plough. Yep. So again, we're just going to feed her around the corner a little bit, like so. Just ease that forward a smidge, like that. So yeah, you see, we've got, I'm sure that's a Stegosaurus, and its mate there, that's a Triceratops, isn't it? I reckon. Right. Come on, plough, bite. There you go, it's biting. Lovely. Wonder if we can just turn this round, this bend a bit. That'll be handy if we can. Go on, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, plough, bite. Rear of the plough is not wanting to bite in. There we go. That's got it. Just be careful we don't take too much of this. There we go. Get ready to pull her out sweetly. Boom. Well, there, I mean, to be fair, that is not bad. That's not the worst ploughing I've ever done. Granted, it's not the best, but you can still see them moldboards. They're still a bit gammed up, aren't they, lot? So not bad, but like I say, it's how big a field it was. It weren't even worth the hassle of getting off to lock them. But yeah, that's fairly level. So all we've got now is the bottom headland down here. We'll do the same. Head back. All right, last pass. I'm just going to graze the rear furrow. So that so we don't have we don't have an open furrow down here, like so. We'll just choose a slower gear so I can correct it a bit quicker. Yeah, that's going quite nicely. So that fifth furrow is only just scratching. The depth wheel is just sort of floating there. The whole weight's being carried by the tractor, so just let a bit more top link out. And get ready to lift her out. And we're done, boys. We're done. Right, so in my box, we should have a nice little shovel. Whip my water out. And then in here somewhere, there it is. Look at that little beauty. Groundhog micro shovel, and it even matches Fastrac. Yeah, how about that? And I was in the garden centre a little while back, and I see this little shovel. I thought that'd be perfect. Goes in the box easy, and ideal for whipping them, you know, the soil off these furrows. And there we go, sports fans. Knocked all the mud off. Head back to the farm now. It's tea time. Local pub does burgers and chips tonight, so that's guess that's what's going in my tummy. Yeah, boy. Anyway, I'll stick it on the back of the plough. You can have a nice ride back up the A1, and I'll see you on the next one. Ta-ta.